Welcome to Soul Circle Tuesdays. All right. Who's jumping on tonight? What are we jamming out on? We're going old school. Little Miss Hill. Hi, loves. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Katie. Hi. We're taking it old school tonight. You two, you're probably going to get on my ass for this one. How's everybody doing? Hi, Sadie, baby. How's everybody feeling? Ooh. If you are new, my new followers, hi, welcome. My name is Serah, the conscious lifestylist. Motivated as fuck. Great, awesome. Welcome to Soul Circle. What do we help with today? We talk about relationships. We talk about conscious living. We talk about reprogramming the subconscious mind. I'm Nicolette. Hi, Danielle on YouTube. I see you, baby. Healing. Is that what we talked about on Soul Circle? Energy shift. Energy shift in relationships in the next few days. Is that a question? Hi, the Vibrancy Project. Hi, baby. So many endings and new beginnings right now. Absolutely. And yes, Christian, the law of full moon tonight. Who's got the full moon feels? Who's got full moon feels? Got some serious full moon fools. Full moon fools. Having trouble with noticing or finding my spirit guides. Interesting. Okay, we can jam out on that. Fit Beauty Mom. Hi, baby. Can we please go get Grace and Coffee soon? I got your message. I just gotta read it. That has energy shifts in general. Feeling big waves. Absolutely. Who's up for some big wave, serious energy shifts already? Time is going by so fast. Yeah, it is. It means the universe is expanding. What are we asking the cards tonight? Gotta jump on. It's our, go back and look at your questions. Feeling deep cleansing is necessary this moon. Exactly. Well, you guys all know. I feel like something big is happening. You guys all know the full moon energy is when we like release stuff out, right? You have to release out in order to make room for basically after the full moon, which is magnetizing in everything that you set intentions for on the new moon. I don't really, like, I know basic astrology, but what I do know, and I always put my energy into is following the moon cycles. One, because that's connected to our emotions. Two, because the moon is also connected to our subconscious, right? Of which those are habitual patterns or habitual actions, all of the above, right? So the cycles of the moon, you can plan your business around. You can plan setting intentions for what you want to manifest, and utilizing that energy like helps you manifest and cultivate exactly whatever you want, right? Yes, and our bodies. The moon controls the tides. We're what, 75% water? Yes, the planets influence us, right? But the moon is affecting our emotions. So straight up for real, full moon feels. Ooh, I want those too, right? Hi, Dragon Baby. So I love to manifest. It really works. Exactly. I might do my manifesting by the moon workshop again. We'll see. A little digital workshop. We'll see how that goes. Full moon is always crazy day for doctors. Really, everyone comes into the urgent care really interesting, Magdalena. That's like, I was about to say that's awesome. I'm like, that's not actually awesome, but that's an awesome, like, I didn't know that. That's a really interesting. Everything's coming to fruition. Think about like a glass being full, right? On the new moon, you're filling up your glass. So by the time the full moon comes around, your glass is full. So what are you emptying out of your glass that isn't working, didn't work from the last cycle, and whatever like emotions you're working through, being able to release those so then you can actually bring in more into that glass. And yes, menstrual cycles. Women, and so men run on a sun cycle, women run on a moon cycle. That's why we call it our moon cycle. Ideally, and granted this, you know, track with your own cycle and your own body. Ideally, women are meant to, right? According to the Native Americans, at least, and a few others, not just them. You are ovulating on the full moon and you start your cycle on the new moon. So sometimes you can go off, like, you know, switch to the other side. That can have a lot to do with stress, and our Gregorian calendar and all that fun stuff. So, all right, what are we diving into? We've got deep cleansing. Let me scroll back through because there was some good ones going on. And I want to touch on, I always get, honestly, like I have a slight headache. Not enough to take an Advil. I don't like taking stuff like that. I can handle any pain, but like a migraine, but just a slight headache here in the front. But that usually happens around the full moon for me. It's all like intense, like energy buildup in my brain, and like channeling through is just like, okay, we need to put a cap on it for a minute. Okay, so, but I do want to answer Moonchild, having trouble with noticing or finding your spirit guide. So the one thing that I want to make note on that, and if anybody else is resonating with that as well, I'm a believer that your spirit guides are you. I'm a believer. I might pull some angel cards tonight. So we'll see how that goes. Even the cards, right? Like those are streams of information and energy coming from the collective, right? This collective energy streaming through our consciousness, translated through the heart. So if you're having trouble either connecting or translating or like feeling something, but you don't really know like what it means, or you're seeing something, you don't really know what it means, or you're not feeling or seeing anything when it comes to like your future vision, tapping into your guides, tapping into your, you know, angels, if you will. I'm a big believer that they are all personifications of your consciousness, right? They're you. We're wonderful humans that we got to put a face on something in order to like understand and relate with it, right? I love your guys' hearts. Okay, that means you're resonating with that. Perfect message for the full moon. Let that shit go. I know it's backwards. Okay. That being said, everything gets translated through the heart. So if your heart is either closed off, or if we're needing to work through or processing some old wounds or whatever that is, that's going to make it more difficult for you to translate or connect with the messages from the higher version of you, the guides, the angels, whatever that is, right? Hi, loves. Hi, everybody new joining. So does that resonate? Does that resonate with you guys? Like everything, absolutely everything gets translated through the heart. It's also a big reason why I say mindset is great. It's one tiny factor. Your emotions are your engine of the car. Like your mind is like, okay, let's get the car running. Let's hit the gas. Your emotions are the engine. You can have a great car. You're not going to go anywhere. Or if you are, it's not going to be fueled with that like passion. You're going to be pushing yourself through sheer will, and that's going to be more draining. You're going to end up getting burnt out, right? If you're strictly going through like mindset, and not empowering yourself through your emotions, that's like a huge recipe for mega burnout. Quick burnout. Yes, keep the heart chakra open, right? That's the first one to close down. Seriously, right? Because we're emotional beings. We're relational beings. We're here to feel. We're here to like express. We want to, everything we do is to feel something. And then when we do the things that we want and then it has a feeling that we don't like, then we like shut down the heart, which is also the drive of your higher self, right? The heart never burns out. Very true. And the heart is the most powerful energy, right? Like, yes, we say love is the most powerful energy in the universe, but quite literally, like, go look up Greg Braden and heart math, right? He's been doing some amazing work with heart math, but quite literally, they're doing studies on tapping into heart energy and how it's literally shifting the vibration of the planet. So that means that our hearts, our emotions, like the moon controls the tides within us and our emotions, and then our heart is like controlling the energy and the pulsing of the planet. Like, how badass and intense is that? So all of us that are having that conversation about like Mother Gaia, right? Some call it Father Gaia. And like her emotions, like she's feeling what we're feeling, she or he, right? Yes, that's so on point. Okay, dope. Hang on. What is the best way to what? Go lightly healing. Hi, love. My heart chakra is open to my kids. I'm really trying my best to open it back up to others besides them. Oh, Katie. Okay. We're going to pull another one. Okay. So I'm going to turn these over yet. We got these are jumpers, this one and this one. And then, okay, hold the phone. I don't know why my intuition was like, just grab the angel cards. We don't know. We don't know why, but it's happening. So, and like one of the first questions was about guides. So we're going there. Is that cool? We're going to grab one for the angels. You know, and like, do they even have, like sometimes with these, like this is the Archangel deck. Archangel deck. Doreen Virtue, of course. Queen of cards. I don't even know if they have the Seraphim in here, although Seraphim is not really an archangel. Okay, so you guys have heard me say lots of times, right? What are you making it mean? There we go. What are you making it mean? The meanings that we, and the meanings and the perceptions that we have, like our whole existence can be broken down into our perceptions and the meanings that we make on those perceptions. So those meanings, based on those perceptions, are what will either keep your heart chakra closed or open. It's what's going to keep that energy flowing or stuck. So your kids, right? Like on one level, you're like, okay, you have unconditional love for your children. What if you were to match the feeling of that you have for your children, that unconditional love, and like copy, paste, right? Copy it, copy the emotion, get really in touch with the emotion of what that is, that unconditional love for your kids. Copy it, like take a snapshot of it in your body, what it feels like, where you feel it in your body. And then when you visualize the others besides your children that you're like not having such unconditional love for, visualize their face and then see if you can paste that feeling when you're visualizing their face. Because when you bring up their face, right, whoever this is that you're, right, and this is resonating with all of you guys, right? Like you get a memory of somebody, right, that kind of like, you know, you don't feel so great about, or maybe somebody that's hurt you, right? And then that brings up those old feelings and those old wounds, right? Copy the emotion, copy paste. And if you notice when you do the pasting, all of those meanings about that person is going to come up. Everything that you're making it mean and your perspectives and all of that whole conversation is going to come up. And that's either going to, like, that's your moment to choose. You're either going to then look in the past of all of those things, of how they made you feel, whatever they did, and blah, 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 and the story, right? It's all a story. Are we rereading the same chapter over and over and over again? Or are we going to write a new story, a new chapter, a new fucking book? But you got to like track yourself. Stop, drop, and love it. You have to literally stop whatever those feelings are that are coming up, whatever those meanings, track them, the meanings, track your perspectives. And if it's not one that you want to have, fucking stop it. Because you're then perpetuating the wound. Like nobody else is around. Nobody's doing that. You're perpetuating the wound then, which means you're in the power position of your wound. That means quite literally, you are in the power position of your wounds. You're in the power position of writing your own story. All of the above. These are not shuffling, not wrong. Come on. Right? Does that resonate? Yes, we got hearts on that. Cool. And what was it? This one? Those two. Okay, okay. And that one. All right. We want 4 on the angel decks. All right. Healing is a personal and enriching story. What story do you want to write? Which one are you writing? I just did a post today. Are we looking into the past? Are we like the present moment is the present moment is a crossroads at any given time. That's what the present moment is. That's what being in the present means. It's a crossroad, which means you have your past and then you have where you're going. So you're either going to take the road that will loop you back around to that same spot, or you can take the road of what then you're becoming, right? So there is, if you guys want to go and read the full, like in the actual post, right? Oh, Sarah, can you talk today? There's something in, there's a law of the universe called entropy and entropy. Who knows what entropy and entropy is? My mushroom coffee. Okay. Who knows what entropy and entropy is? I mean, I'm going to tell you. Go lightly. You got goosebumps. I love that. How to channel my energy when I'm excited and strive for a goal, my new business. Yay. But to avoid burnout. Okay. Potentially I will cycle back around on that one, but let me check it. Okay. Never heard of it. Okay. Entropy and entropy. Who watched, oh my God, why can't I think of it? Wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. Come on. Old school 80s. Where's my 80s crew here? Wax on, wax off with the, oh my God, Sarah, come on. Who knows it? Karate Kid, right? Who watched the original Karate Kid? Wax on, wax off. Yes, thank you. Karate Kid, right? Remember? And he's going to teach him and he's like, just like, he thinks he's going to like help him learn some, you know, profound lessons on, you know, karate and all of this stuff. And he's like, nope. It's like, you're going to paint and you're going to wax on and you're going to wax off just like this. Right. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, why am I doing that? Like, what does this have to do with my life and how to actually like be a good Karate Kid? Right. Okay. So everybody knows wax on, wax off. That is literally, yes, Mr. Miyagi. We love Mr. Miyagi. And the bonsai tree, exactly. Okay, so quite literally, entropy and entropy is wax on and wax off, right? One is counterclockwise, which is undoing, right? It's also destructive, right? It's releasing. So technically, right, we're in releasing now, hitting the full moon. We're in, oh my God, I always get it backwards. Entropy, right? Excuse me, entropy. Entropy is backwards. Entropy is releasing. Entropy is letting go. Entropy is also chaos, right? And then centropy is clockwise. Centropy is creative. Centropy is forward movement. Centropy is the full moon, or excuse me, the new moon, right? Gas on, move forward, right? Oh, good morning from South Africa. Awesome. So, centropy and entropy is a natural law of the universe. We're in any given moment, right? The Karate Kid, he's standing in the middle. He's standing at that crossroads of centropy and entropy, of wax on and wax off, of basically what he's releasing and what he's creating. But we have to pay attention. Are we more in, yes, there's releasing, but there's also destructive with that, right? It's the undoing of stuff. And there's creating and the doing and the forward movement of things, right? Centropy is clockwise, yes. Centropy is SY. Centropy is clockwise, entropy is counterclockwise. So, I mean, those are like, you don't necessarily need to remember that. But point is, that's the crossroads that we're always in. We're either creating or destroying. We're either moving forward or like re-looping the past, right? Neutrality, question mark. It's so yes and no, right? So I'll say this. Get into the present, get into the center of the crossroads, and get into neutrality so that then you can consciously choose whether you want to be in centropy or entropy. If you're, oftentimes, we are in reactionary positions to everything around us. We're emotionally reactive to everything. It's like a leaf blowing in the wind and there's no grounding nature to it, right? And when we get into like emotionally responsive with things and not in mastery of our own emotions, not in choice of our own emotions, then you start projecting shit onto other people, right? You start like, all of a sudden something happens and then you get a feeling and then you make the meaning and you have your perspective and now all of a sudden your emotions are all over the place, and that's not grounded, that's not centered, that's not you making conscious choice, that's you making reactive choice, which isn't exactly choice, is it? Right? You're not the, I don't like to use the word control, but you're not the master of your own direction, right? So neutrality, but don't stay in neutrality, because neutrality is technically like nothing. It's like non-movement. And that would be opposite of the universe, since the universe is always moving, right? Like neutrality is void of, like it's just standing still, right? So I say stand still so that then you can choose which direction you want to go, right? Great question. How do you know the difference between an emotion and intuition screaming at you? So that's really interesting that you say intuition screaming at you. I'm going to go ahead and say that then whatever is screaming is not your intuition. Just go out on a limb on that one. Okay, so it's all emotion. Your intuition is emotion, right? You need emotion to have intuition. Now, if you're talking exactly, intuition won't scream. That would be like if there's something screaming at you, that's an ego, inner child, I like to say, that needs to be integrated, right? That's it could be a pathogen. Pathogens, we pick up pathogens all the time, and sometimes, you know, they really want something and it's a consciousness and you're like, why do I want this thing? And so then you're not sovereign to your own direction and choice either in that point, right? It could be a past program. What I mean by that is it could be a fear, and that fear is going to yell at you, right? It's going to make you feel negative emotions, guilt or shame or whatever that is that's screaming, and then whatever you're feeling based on screaming. Like, who wants to be screamed at? Your intuition is the highest vibrational version of you. That doesn't scream, which is why when it comes to our true intuition, we often overlook it. One, we don't trust it because we've overstepped our values a bunch of times. That's a different video. And it's it's not the loudest voice, right? Our past programs that we actually need to release, we need to go to our subconscious and release those and heal those. Those are the ones that are screaming. It's like banging pots and pans and you're like, holy fuck, okay, like shut the fuck up, right? And that's what you end up paying attention to. Your true intuition, your true heart's voice, your inner guidance system coming from your highest version of yourself is this really like soft, subtle suggestion, right? It's like, oh, I wonder what would happen if you decided to, you know, turn left on your way to work today instead of turning right. I wonder what would happen if you stopped at that gas station and, you know, maybe you would meet somebody new, right? Have you ever listened to that really subtle voice, that one that's like, it's very curious, right? It's also very innocent. It's kind of like a little kid, like, oh, I wonder what would happen, right? And then maybe you do that thing and you like meet somebody or have this like serendipitous or seemingly serendipitous experience because you were listening then to the voice, the subtle suggestion of that curious, innocent inner child, let's say. Right? There is never, ever a time that your highest version of you is going to yell at you. If it is, that is not your highest version, and challenge the fuck out of that because it might be another energy. It might be something that's trying to sway you off of your path. Anytime, anybody, like, don't we do that in our real life? Like somebody yells at us, we're like, excuse me. Fuck a what? Right? So like, why wouldn't you challenge that part? Why would you think that then that was your intuition, right? I feel your question on that. So like, I hope you hear my soul when we're like just making light of it, but for real, right? Like we come around people like that, we're like, excuse me, and we're done. Thank you. You're fired. Sometimes we need to like fire those versions of us. And most importantly, we need to heal those versions of us because they come from past programs that I call a false identity. It's having you attract the relationships that you are right now. It's having you be the sort of leaf in the wind, and what you think you're choosing is for your highest, but it's actually derailing you off of your path because it's based on an old story. Does that resonate? Am I explaining that? Right? So wax on, Mr. Miyagi, that shit. Right? Just check neutrality. Where are you standing? And are you going to like wax on or are you going to wax off in any given moment? That's what being present is about. Right? Nicolette, sometimes it's entities, not always. Like I said, we also sometimes think that like entities are really, like I said, past protection programs, right? Your subconscious mind, it's got a lot of personalities. It's got like kind of a lot. It's got different belief systems, some of which you've taken on that like could be deleted, right? It has a lot of different things in there. If you continue with lower vibrational thoughts and emotions and sort of following those thoughts and emotions and staying in that sort of like loop of negativity, is that an open doorway and opportunity for other lower vibrational entities to come hang out? Well, yeah, duh, because like vibration attracts like vibration. So you can shift that at any time based on getting into that neutral place, releasing whatever wounds are attached to those past programs, whatever wounds are unhealed. And if you're constantly in that spiral of negativity, like go there and heal it, and then you won't be in the vibration of attracting more of it. It's like tune the dial to what you want. But oftentimes we're not always doing that, right? Because we get caught in the loop. We're waxing off more than we're waxing on. And then every full moon, and it's like, okay, what are we releasing? Like more releasing. And for some of you, it's like more crying. Crying doesn't mean releasing. The more you cry doesn't necessarily mean that you're fully releasing. What I mean by that, yes, crying is a release. but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's healing it, right? Like if you keep crying about something over and over and over again, there does come a point where you might actually be opening the wound again and again more than actually healing it. Do you guys hear what I mean by that? Like process the emotion, cry out the emotion 100% on whatever that wound is, but then don't keep reopening the wound, right? Yes, that makes sense. Okay, cool. What about negative entities that might attach onto you? Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Negative, undesired, lower vibrational, whatever, entities won't be able to attach onto you if you're not in the vibrational match of it. It's like a slip and slide. It's like they just, if you're not in the vibrational match, they would have nothing to synchronize with, right? So you can release all of that by releasing those past wounds and past programs, because then it's not in your field, right? Yes. So it's like Velcro. Just make it like not Velcroable. Bad, Sarah. Bad. Right? They won't resonate. Exactly. Like they might come around because they're around, right? But you'll witness them and be like, oh, hey, what's that? That's cool. And they'll witness you and be like, oh, okay, I got no stickum on you, right? It's like they won't be able to stick. Okay. Yes. I love you too. You're welcome. We're making that a word now, Velcroable, right? Velcro, great invention. Okay. How can we get away of the negative vibration? Okay. We're going to say that we're going to keep saying it because we learn through repetition. So the more that I say it, the more that it'll make sense. Okay. Sometimes you are attached and don't know why or how. What? Okay. Let's just take the how do we get away from negative vibration? Wax on. Stop waxing off. Spiritual coconut oil on those entities. That's amazing. That is amazing. Yes, we need to have spiritual coconut oil for those. But entities, right? Again, we're human. We need to personify. We need to create a face to an energy, to a non-tangible energy, right? So when we say entities, those are, think of them quite literally as negative thoughts, right? And then, and I'm not like, yes, there's tangible entities and you can see them and all of that stuff. And what if those are denser, energetic expressions of the accumulated collective consciousness of those negative thoughts, right? Like, did that make sense how I said that? So let's say you see a shadow being. Well, is that shadow an actual being? Or what if the fact that it makes it a shadowy, a denser, something that you can then see a little bit more with your tangible eye, meaning it has it's more dense, right? What if it gets more and more dense because as a collective consciousness that we're all tapped into, that we're all feeding, the more that we have negative thoughts that feed the collective consciousness with that negativity, then that entity becomes more and more dense. And then when we're in a vibration that's similar to its vibration, then it comes around us. It's like hanging out in our field because we're aligning to its vibration. And yet if we align out of its vibration, right, we don't feed it more of our negative entities, negative thoughts, negative emotions, right, then it won't it won't continue coming around, and it will cease to become dense, right? Like we're feeding the collective consciousness as much as the collective consciousness is feeding us. And everything in all dimensional realities stems from our creation, which is feeding the collective, which is then feeding us, right? So even though it's an entity, it's a version of something that was created by our consciousness. Does that make sense? So its density, I'm just going to keep saying it in a different way. Its density is dense because we keep feeding it. And then its density comes around us and we see it or feel it because we're in vibration to it, which is feeding it. Does that make sense? Did we go a little quantum? Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Thoughts become things. Exactly, Magdalena. And your emotions fuel the fuck out of your thoughts. You can have a thought and it could disappear, right? That person's car alarm equally agrees. You could have a thought. I don't know if you guys could hear that. And the thought could disappear. But what happens is then we get a thought or we pass through, okay, here we're going to write, because I said this a long time ago in a video. I don't remember which video, so I'll just say it again. Sometimes the thoughts that you're thinking aren't yours. One, yes, they can come through past generations, right? But have you ever kind of been in like a really good mood or just a mood, right? Normal mood, nothing to neutral mood, right? And then all of a sudden you're walking down the street and it seems like you just get like hit with something and now you're in a bad mood, right? To use an exaggerated example. Has that ever happened to anybody, right? You're the best too. And like, it seems like this drastic shift, right? Yes. Okay, cool. So feel free to look this up too. We have grid lines, right? There's a Hartman grid line. There's a couple different names for them, right? So you have horizontal, you have, or I mean like diagonal, you have vertical, you have horizontal. Yes, you have all three, right? It's my belief that these grid lines, they carry vibration, right? For instance, I also believe it's what's carrying our Wi-Fi, right? Our computers, our cell phones, all of this stuff, right? That also, our Wi-Fi, which by the way, we're like accelerating up to 5G, which is why everybody's freaking out and everyone's anxiety is going through the roof. I believe that these grid lines that also carry the waves of electromagnetics, right? Our thoughts are electromagnetic. Our emotions are electromagnetic. So what do you think our thoughts, right? Like, have you ever thought about that? Like where our thoughts are carried? Like, is there like a cloud somewhere? Is there like a, like an iPhone cloud of thoughts, an iPhone cloud of emotions? Like you just put them in the cloud and everybody can like upload and download from them? No, the cloud is literally like the grid lines. So these thoughts and emotions are running on the grid line. You're walking through, they're invisible. If you know dowsing, if you know pendulum, right, or dowsing rods, if you know how to do that, which is a tangible way to track and measure non-tangible, right, vibration. If you measure them, you can measure and find where these fields are, but otherwise they're completely invisible as our thoughts and emotions, right? So it's non-tangible energy, as are entities. So these thoughts and emotions run on these grid lines. And you walk through these grid lines. So wouldn't it make sense that if you're fine, right, or neutral, and then all of a sudden you're walking down the street, what if you literally passed over a grid line that had really intense, like, let's say, negative emotion on it? And now all of a sudden you feel it. But what happens after that is you feel it, wasn't yours, but you feel it. And then it goes right to your mind and you make a meaning about it and you have a perception about it, which then activates another feeling. So now you intensified it, right? Yes, pendulum is magic, right? Your body is a pendulum too. You can feel where these fields are in your body. You ever like stood somewhere and you're like, I don't know, I'm really uncomfortable, and you move 2 feet over and you're like, okay, I feel better. Like you might have been on a crisscross of a grid line. Cats love these grid lines. I don't know. They absolutely love them. Not so good for humans. Right? So we're literally walking through a grid of thoughts and emotions that aren't yours, aren't ours. And then we attach to them, and then we make our own meanings about them, right? Because we've all had experiences that might resonate with some of those emotions. And if you continue perpetuating that and running the wax off and keep writing that story, right, then you're not mastering your own story. You're basically you're walking through these thoughts and emotions, and you're not choosing or challenging which ones you want and which ones that you want to let go of. You have to stop, drop, love it. You got to like walk through and be like, oh, that's an emotion. I don't know. Is that mine? Did I pick that up or whatever? What am I making that mean? Okay. Do I want to continue that? No. In which case, stop, drop into your heart, drop into the present, and then choose the emotion that's closer to love. Accurate. Awesome. Love that. Thank you, Dragon. Makes so much sense. Okay. Oh, dope. How can you stop emotional and behavioral patterns? Great question. So one of the reasons why I love doing the work that I do is because it's all the subconscious. All of your emotions and your behavior stems from your subconscious, right? So we can be doing meditations, which is really wonderful. You can read books, which is really wonderful. You can even hear the words that I'm saying, which is really wonderful. Hopefully. I love all of you for coming to Soul Circle. You make this possible. You guys are shifting the cultural consciousness by even the tiniest bit. If I could give you even one little gold nugget and it like creates an epiphany and a light bulb, boom, you just added to the grid line of positive collective influence. Right? And how to become the master of your reality. We all have a reality, yes. But our reality is created by our subconscious behaviors, which stem from our subconscious thoughts and beliefs. And thoughts, right? Thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. So when you can go in and shift that, then you're not that leaf in the wind. You're not getting emotionally, right, swaying. You're also then not emotionally codependent on someone else to fulfill an emotion for you that you feel like you don't have or whatever, right? So it's what I call more of the advanced work, because it's like scuba diving, right? The conscious mind is like the top of the iceberg, and then the subconscious is like underneath of the iceberg. We got to go scuba diving. We need some gear. We need to know how to do that. We need the tools and somebody who's gone through that and how to do that, right? So I'm really excited to take all of you guys to the next level when you're ready. But yes, that's how we do that. Hypnosis is a really, really, really great way to do that, right? But what I love creating is actual tangible tools that then you can use every single day, right? Stop, drop, love is technically a tool or a technique that you can do with everything, right? But these are tangible, like proven based on how the subconscious works. Love it. I love working and giving with like actual, like tangible things, right? It's different than just, well, I'll say it this way. It's having an experience with something, right? You got to have like the experience. Having the experience is what will shift it, right? Does that resonate? Diving deep, exactly. So when we're ready for the advance, all of the conscious work, right, is the meditation and the books and all that stuff. That's almost like you have to get somewhat of an awareness on what's happening before then you can dive deep, right? It's like survey the land, like figure out where you're going to go, find out like what kind of iceberg it is, right? Before then you got to go get the backpack, right? Not the backpack, but like, you know, like have you ever been scuba diving? Oh my God, I went once in Australia. Oh, it's a crazy experience. It's a really crazy experience. I almost had a panic attack, right? And sometimes transformation is kind of like that. You might almost have a panic attack, right? But that's also why I love emotional mastery and teaching emotional mastery, because if you dive into an emotion, you need to know how to get yourself out of it, right? On your own. So I love teaching tools that support in your sovereignty, so that you can be shifting on your own and knowing how to in any given moment, right? That's what I also believe will help then shift our relationship dynamics that we have with people, right? Conscious type of relationships, especially then also in business, romantically and business, right? We need to like take it all to the next level, advanced, next level tools, right? Yes, yes. So for those of you who are ready, I mean, you guys know, you can book a session. It's all of that, right? For a lot of us, like the first step is even getting in touch with like that inner connection. Case in point, if you're not connecting with that higher version of you or feeling like that connection is off, like that needs to be reconnected first and foremost, because we go through all of these experiences and then we get disconnected because those experiences were maybe a little bit painful or they didn't feel so good, or, right? Half of society, I'm just going to say, half of society, and I can say this because I used to be one of them, operating outside the body, like floating in the ethers outside the body, not connected. We got to get connected, listening to your inner feminine and your inner masculine, integrating that, integrating, healing the inner child, right? Getting that adventurous, passionate spirit back again. Well, we need tools for that. And that's why I geek out on this stuff and I love it, right? You're booking me in April. Love it. For your birthday, badass, amazing. Start your next cycle with some amazing tools for that. That's so badass, babe. I can't wait. Nicolette, I will look for you. Send me a message, honey, and I'll look out for you. Right? But like, I have so much fun doing this. And I honestly have fun doing it because it's what I needed too. Like, oh my God. I didn't want to keep rereading my story over again. Oh, I was getting really exhausted with that story. And I wanted the tools on how to actually be able to do that. And now, like, everybody that I get to work with and seeing the shifts in that, just creating that foundation, because it's a birthright. We are all truly meant to be the conscious creators of our reality. And I believe our relationships, but everything starts with you. It all starts with us, right? How we're going to create the change and be the change that we want to see in the world, that starts with us, not anybody else, right? There's a lot that aren't doing it. There are a lot that still, I would love to still be part of the Soul Circle community and tribe, right? That are like, we need to be waking everybody up. So the more that we all get these tools to wake ourselves up so that we're not like codependent of all the wounds of our past, like delete the past. It's fucking over anyway, right? I mean, technically, if you want to get to quantum physics of time, like it's all happening at the same time anyways, right? But we either are aligning to looking into the vibration and the memories of that past, or we're designing and creating our future reality. And that has the love that we want in it. That has the fucking business that you want in it. Yes, yes, yes. Right? And it takes more. I'm just going to like say it. It takes, honestly, having those tools of understanding. And I geek out on this stuff. I geek out on it because I love seeing people succeed. That's my fun. And that's my calling, right? So, and I had to go through my own crazy journey with that. I had to learn emotional mastery. And then I had to like have a near-death experience and learn all of the different subtle sensitivities of energy and spirit. And then I had to master the mind, but it's all three of those. You're welcome. Freedom is our birthright. And fucking passion is our birthright. And I believe we all need to be living with a lot more passion, not a little bit more passion. Like it's like borderline burnt out right now. Everywhere that I look, it's like you can see it in people's eyes. Like we need to reignite that flame. I must have drove past one of those negative grid lines because I was overtly pissed off today. And what are you making it mean and perpetuating that cycle? Or would you like to let that go now? Stop it. Drop into your heart. Choose something that's closer to love. Hashtag stop, drop, love. Right? Right, Dragon? Okay, oh my gosh, cards. How did that happen so quickly? Freedom and passion. Yes. And let the rest go. If it's not freedom, if it's not passion, fucking let it go. But you're not free if you're operating from past programs. You're not free. You need to become sovereign to that before then creating those alliances or relationships, right? Hashtag laminate, hashtag stop, drop, love, hashtag divine badass. I love all of you guys, right? We're all here doing it together. I'm equally here doing it's all what we're all puzzle pieces of helping the collective consciousness grow into the highest vibration possible. That's the name of the game. But we got to learn the tools to drop all of our stuff, right? So I get super excited to work with the people who are ready for that shit. Okay. Let's do some cards, shall we? In 9 minutes. Okay. The word wants to be written. Love that. Love that. Love that. I'm going to just kind of go into, we got to do these quickly too. I'm going to go into like, yes, you could think like tangible word. Oh my God, look at all the butterflies. Did you guys watch? Now I posted the Self-Love Sunday one on my IGTV. Remember I talked about the story to butterflies? So the word, your story, I don't care whether you're writing a fucking book tangibly or it's your story of your life wants to be written, but it wants to be written the way that you want to write it. Not the old story. It doesn't say the word wants to be read again and again and again and again. The word wants to be written, which means that's up to you. Okay? So, all right. Wow, this is really funny. That really says diving, right? Diving for light. Can we say scuba diving? Can we say go into the subconscious for light? That's how you're going to fucking find that shit. I just love how it all ties in. Is it me or does this all kind of like tie into the conversation? Diving for light. Scuba diving for light. Dive into your subconscious mind. We need the tools to do that. Have you ever tried scuba diving without the proper gear? Nobody does it. Like you can't even do it. Like you legit, you're too buoyant. Like you can't do it, right? Can't do it. Okay. Conscious connections. Come on. I love the synchronicity of these. Conscious connection, right? I know it's like a twin, but that's your reflection of your inner, your connection, right? Connection is key. Conscious connection is key to transforming the collective, to transforming your relationships, to just living a fucking badass life. Is that not part of the conversation too? I love this. I love this. I love it when this happens. Come on now. Free from judgment, free from love. Did we say, right? Did we say, or excuse me, free to love. Oh my God. Free from judgment, free to love. Did we say freedom? Did we say passion? Pretty sure that's on point too. I feel like I don't need to, I'm moving quickly, but I feel like these are just validating the conversation as they always do. Yes, they always do. We got this one again. Inner trust. None of this happens without inner trust. Your past programs, your past story is what is affecting you from trusting yourself, which means if you're not trusting yourself because you run over your own values, whatever it, all of those different reasons, still rereading the past story, past programs, that means that you're not going to trust yourself to write your story. You may not even right now think that you can. It might be like, what? Like, how do I do that? There is a how, I promise. That's what I do is the how. It's all the how, right? You have to also have inner trust in knowing that it's fucking possible. It's 100% possible. Yes, that's all I want to say. Okay. Angel cards, quickly. Okay, cognizance. Seriously? 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 Uriel, pay attention to thoughts and ideas that come to you. They are answered prayers. The positive ones. If you're running the negative ones, guess which ones can't show up? If you're paying attention to all the negative ones, guess which ones you're not paying attention to? It says pay attention to thoughts. But again, we're focused on the banging pots and pans of all the negative ones and all the negative emotions that we're going through. And if we're doing that, then it's taking away from our attention from all of the ideas that are coming to us that are actually answered prayers, in which case then you're going to be like, oh my God, like, why can't I hear my angels and my higher self and my subconscious, right? Or my intuition. Yes, from God. Yes, from God. God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, right? Everybody has a different word for it. We angels bring you gifts from your creator. Open your arms to receive. Gotta be able to have that heart open to receive in order to translate. But again, if those are past stories and past wounds and that's not healed and you haven't done the tools in order to do that, this is going to be shut down and you won't be able to receive. Right? Clear knowing, inner trust. Yes. Okay, I'm moving through this quickly. Got more writing. You got more creative writing. Like, what if each one of you tonight went to write the story, your future story? Write your future story, right? One of the things that I do in with my elite clients is we actually write your future self, right? I have a blueprint for it. I have a blueprint for everything. Creative writing. Write your fucking future self, right? Then there is ways to integrate that, right? One of my girls, baby, are you on here? You just did that last week. And it's just like, oh my God, I'm so excited about writing my future self. I think it's so badass. Okay? Actors actually been doing this for years. You literally, it's like creating a character, right? Write your future story. Yes. Okay, make time to write down your thoughts in a journal, positive ones. Write down your negative ones too, so you can fucking see them on paper. Let's see, in a journal, or pen an article or book. Some of you on here actually need to be like tangibly writing. I know I need to be tangibly writing, right? An intuitive messenger, and my intuition was like, okay, I'm writing my book. Technically, they're saying it's going to be in 2019. So I think I'm going to start writing it now and then maybe launch it in 2019. There's still information coming through. Okay, brilliant idea. What a brilliant idea. Why don't you do that? Write your future self. Brilliant idea. Thank you. Thank you, Uriel. Yes, your idea is divinely guided. Just saying. Please take action to bring your idea to fruition. Okay? So if I didn't already say it, the cards definitely did. Write your future self tonight. Write your future self. When you're ready to then integrate that, that's when you'll call me. Been doing that. Love it. Yes, going to say that you need to write about, oh, thanks, baby. It's happening. It's happening, right? I have 2 digital courses pretty much to like just translate into a book, right? I have over 300 individual sessions with people to just transcribe into a book, right? Let's get to doing it. Okay. Helpful. Love you guys. Remember, like I just want to hugely acknowledge you. The epiphanies that you get, if I can give you even a little gold nugget, that awareness, you're helping see the collective consciousness on a positive level. It's all you. That's how, like, it's us. It's all everybody. That's what Soul Circle's about. That's what you guys in your communities, your own version of Soul Circle is about. We are literally, we have to vibrate and be the level at which we want to see change, right? You want to pre-order the book? Thanks, baby. Thanks, Go Lightly. Go Lightly Healing. Oh my God, girl, I am loving all the crystals. So I just hugely want to acknowledge you guys. I love seeing each one of your faces. So many of you, I'm getting to know all of you, and anybody who's new as well. We keep this happening every week. I'm here to support on that level. When I was first awakening, I didn't have this. And I wished that somebody was around to do that. So I'm showing up every week, and it doesn't happen without you. Yes, Soul Circle doesn't happen without you, but creating the cultural shift, collective shift, doesn't happen without you. Each one of you. We're all a puzzle piece of the greater whole. So I just want to acknowledge each one of you for the work that you've been doing. Fucking badasses. Keep doing it. And when you're ready for the next level, I'm super excited to help take you there. I love all of you. I will see you on Sunday. for Self-Love Sunday. And my name is Serah Delane, if you don't already know, the Conscious Lifestylist. Mwah. Love all of you. Thank you, and you're welcome. Bye, loves.